target focus shooting with iron sights. So I've been talking a lot of shit online about target focus shooting with iron sights being the way to do it, and some people have been asking me for a video to explain why this is the case. So let me tell the story. So anyway, yeah, Nick Reynolds won Area 8, a USPSA match, a big one, in limited, which is iron sights. This guy won this match. Well, you might say, well, who the fuck is Nick Reynolds? Well, I'm going to link his account below, but yeah, he's I guess you'd say he's an amateur shooter, a good one. Amateur, not to say he's bad, just that it's not his job. He beat guys like Shane Coley, Travis Tomasi, Todd Jarrett, among others, like won a very challenging match, a very serious match. I got this email from him. Hey Ben, biggest thank you for coming to Pennsylvania and tweaking my vision to be target focused. I told you it was going to be hard to switch because I've been sight focused for 5+ years, but I'm working hard. Just won Area 8. So yeah, Nick was in a group class I had out there, 10 or 12 people. It wasn't like a private class. I got him to switch to target focus shooting. He's done quite well in competition with it. So target focus shooting, what do I mean? Well, what I mean is the target behind me, you should look at that, and that should be clear. The sights should be blurry. So you still see them, you still use them. They're just blurry, forever blurry. And you can still tell like the position of the sights relatively, and you just use them that way. You don't ever look at the sight itself and get it to look clear. To aim more or aim better, you just don't do that. Your focus is on the target. There's a few different ways you'd read your sights. I would say is just the outline of the gun, maybe at very close range, or just the front sight itself. As you go out in distance, maybe at 5-7 yards, you just see the color of your fiber optic sight. If you've got one here like the Glock has. There's factory sights on the Glock 22. Maybe you just see the white ball, good enough at 5 yards, whatever. And as you go further away, you use more sight. You don't look at the sight more, you just look for more information. At 7 yards or so, you want to start referencing the rear sight, making sure you see that. At 10, 12, 15 yards, depending on the sight setup and the precision of the shot required, you start centering that fiber optic ball. You start centering that in the notch. Whereas, at closer ranges, you don't bother. If you just see fiber in notch kind of anywhere, start shooting. Anyway, yeah, so that'd be what I suggest you do, or the paradigm I suggest you adopt, as long as you don't have recoil control issues or grip issues, like you're not diving on the gun or it's not getting away from you. With your support hand not clamped on there, you should be able to shoot pretty well this way. So people were asking, are there any training tools that you have to shoot target focus? Because if you're shooting a red dot, you can occlude it. So you got to tape over the dot. The way this works is if I look through the gun, look downrange at a target, I see the gun superimposed in my vision with the red dot superimposed over the target. It's just if I focus on the dot itself, because it's occluded, it'll shut down my view of the target, because then my dominant eye will take over. And it's not about changing your eye dominance, by the way. It's just if I occlude and I look at the dot, then it gives me the vision from that eye and shuts down my view of the target. That's a very easy training tool to force myself, or not strictly speaking force yourself, but it helps a lot to get you to shoot target focused when you're shooting a red dot. No such tool exists for iron sights, unfortunately. Unfortunately, what you have to do is just force yourself to shoot target focused, like make the target clear. What I like to do, you take one of these USPSA targets, they're going to be blank. Just put a little black mark, a piece of tape, a black paste or something like that. Put that there. That gives you a spot to focus on. And then again, focus on that spot and try to see the shadow or the ghost image of the gun superimposed over the target. It should help you see that. Feel free to use a marker to dull your fiber optic. So you just mark right here on the top of the fiber itself. You can see I've already dulled this one quite a bit. That's so it grabs less light. Like I want to be able to see the fiber, be it green or red or whatever. I want to see the fiber, but I don't want it blooming off the front sight post. That'll suck my eye onto it and make me not target focused. So that would be a problem. Okay, yeah, so that's target focus. You should go try it. Please don't DM me if you haven't. Just go try it. Just go try it. Don't theorize about it or talk about it. Just go actually try it. So, you're going to learn a lot faster that way. One other thing to talk about when it comes to iron sights, you might hear some instructors, kind of the bad ones, will tell you, hey, anchor the rear sight and then line up the front sight. So it's like rear sight first, you come onto a target, and then you kind of like do alignment with the front sight. No, that's really what's going on there is that you need to dry fire is what you need to do if that's the problem. So the thing with dots, for example, is either you see it or you don't. So everybody's seen it at a match where somebody who's new, the gun comes up and they start hunting around for the dot. And then they get that lesson again on the weekend only stage where they're hunting around for the dot, or where they have to go around a barricade and hunt around for the dot. There's a certain training investment you have to do when you have a red dot on your gun. You have to be able to be put in the training where you find that thing instantaneously. If you put backup irons on there, like you might as well just have irons because you're going to be slow as fuck. Like the point is not to use the iron sights; they're just a backup. Anyway, when you're using iron sights, even if you come up on the target and the gun's grossly misaligned, you can still see where the front and rear sight position is and get aimed in there much quicker and more easily, I'd say, for somebody who doesn't practice. Like if you have no training with these guns, then you're going to be faster, figuring that out with iron sights usually, because red dots people might have to hunt around a little bit for them. However, that's not what you want to do with the iron sights either. What you want to do is dry fire, just like you would with the dot, so that you don't rear sight and then have to hunt around with the front sight. The idea is to not have to do that thing. The idea is for you to dry fire. Anyway, that's enough for today, guys. Questions, comments, whatever, put it down below.